Wake up, buyer payer people. It's a beautiful day. Go grab yourself another cup of joe and say hello to Jim and Michelle Rhodes on the Buy Here Pay Here morning show. Take it away, you two.
Hey,
hello,
good morning.
Buy Here Pay Here people. Happy Friday.
Happy
Welcome
Friday.
to another live episode of the Buy Here Pay Here morning show. I'm talking like, like I'm doing a professional intro.
You are just so professional at
Thank
your
you.
intros.
That's what
Go
I was
ahead.
looking for with
Yeah.
your confirmation. So welcome, friends. We've got a rich topic today. In fact, it's so rich that we made it 2 episodes.
Yeah. And, it's interesting because we use a lot of V8 stuff
Mhm.
On the morning show. And so, some people may say it's like it's a pitch for V8, but it's like this is the stuff Jim works on, and this is the stuff that he really enjoys doing, and we just release it to V8. That's it's not something that is out yet into the wild and the
Right.
general population. And so this topic is around one of those things from something that Jim worked on with the help of AI and our and it's so rich.
It's so good.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, and I think it's important to give the backstory. I'm going to take folks inside the actual thing. Our subject today is report cards, or this new business model index that we created under the WHW brand name.
Yeah.
So,
And I'll just, can I make a comment about it? Is that when he took me through this, I was like, I love that it's like a report card. It's like report cards that every single person that went to public, and I'm pretty sure private school, K through 12, experienced something like this. And so they, when you say you got an A GPA or a C GPA, you know what that means, right? And so it's kind of like, so we were going through it and I said, okay, C, average. That's, and everybody wants to be above average, but it's like, you can still make good money and do all the things at a C. And so it's kind of fun. Just as I was looking at it, it was someone who's a lay person would be able to go, where does this, whatever it is that we're measuring, rank? Right. And so, and it gives you, it gives you some insight on like, here are the main things that are ranked, kind of like in school when you've got spelling and arithmetic and, all of those kind of things. And I look forward to the day when we add a white hat way layer on that. And that is like good citizenship. Right. That kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I need to back up and give a little backstory on this. Again, we're talking about an index that we've created, which is really a letter grade, as Michelle said. It gives actually a grade. It's almost like the way I explained it, because we had our first V8 meeting of the month last night. And I was explaining to the dealers who were in attendance, because I introduced this thing to them with their own data. And I said, it's a little like, I like things to be transparent. I like for them to be able to see individually. So it gives them actually a letter grade. We're going to show an example of one. I blacked out the names, of course, for the dealers. So their data's and their grades not revealed. But the backstory is really this. As I shared with them, somebody bear with me because this is relevant.
Okay.
Started managing a Buy Here Pay Here dealership in 97. Became a consultant, started working with numbers in 2000. So I'm 26 years of data. And to this day, Michelle, if somebody wants to engage us as a coach and says, which business model is best? What cost of car should I carry? What works best? And I will be frank with them. And I will tell them, after all these years, I wish I could answer that more succinctly. So what best I can do as a coach is to tell them, here's a model that we recommend, and here's why. Here's what we see and why. Okay. And another coach would give you, here's what we would recommend and why. Okay. That's the best they can really do. So it's only now with all this, it's a couple of things that have happened that allow us to really do this now. 2+ years of V8 data strung together month over month, right? So you've got trending in history. That trending in history in our V8 data has a snapshot look at inventory levels. It has a look at sales volume. It has sales deal structure. It has lots of stuff. I'm going to take people on Sunday. Let me stop and mention on Sunday, we're going to do part 2. I scheduled it for Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, it has some more stuff Eastern. He wants to be able to talk about around us.
I'll take people deeper into the methodology on Sunday, because I want people to kind of understand what's happening here, because we'll be meeting with some partners around this stuff. And I want everybody to kind of have a point of reference and a little bit of a deep of enough peek under the hood to really understand the significance of what's happening here. For today, it was really to introduce the idea and kind of share the enthusiasm around what happened. So the first part of what I said was that V8 data, we needed that, because in the past I've had to tell people the data is fragmented. We got a bucket over here. We got a bucket over here. I don't have enough information comparatively. One more point. Let me come to you. So I can tell she's eagerly trying to get something to add. So the other piece is that the other thing that's added now is that AI is on the scene. So the ability to take AI inside that data and sweep all that. And then I spent a good chunk of my yesterday answering the questions from AI to create a weighted scoring model on these different categories. Go ahead.
Well, first off, so my comment is that, we have 2 years of strung data from V8. What is different about the data from V8 than others? I don't know. I mean, is that we have it's DMSs and a way a dealer puts the numbers in completely can skew the data.
Yeah, for sure.
And so we've spent years making sure that people that are coming in, we are comparing apples to apples and making sure that things like, you gave the example this morning as we were talking about it, about a dealer that when they first started, they would, when they'd have a repo, they would say this repo is worth X,
a sign of value.
A sign of value based on what they could sell it for and not what it was worth at the auction, which made it look like their losses were very different, right? Which skews everything. So it's things like that being involved in V8, that you dive in and make sure that all of the pieces are aligning.
I want to be careful about the way you're explaining that, because you're suggesting that we require people to change their policies or their practices, and that's not really what she's suggesting. What we don't require anything. We just know that in order for you to show up at a meeting and have your numbers be relevant, you're going to want to be aware that most dealers are reporting their information this way.
And this dealer changed it. It's like, so it's in order for me to get a real good view about what's happening in the whole ecosystem of repos. This is a better way to do it. So they did shift.
They did shift. And so I think I can say today, we recognize there will always be some asterisks, a hard word to say, but it's like a little asterisk beside some of the numbers. Why? Because in our business, there's always going to be some operational deviation. One dealer does their repos a certain way, the next dealer does it. Now, in a V8 environment, we can filter that well, right? And so we're working on that part. So,
and you've also seen in DMSs that things are reported like incompletely. So, you've dug in and it's like, okay, this number, because the report that's coming from your DMS is spitting out this, but does your DMS really calculate it correctly? And so we're able to go in and like burp, 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 burp.
Yeah.
And
line
now
this stuff up. That's right.
it's apples to apples.
So we can tell, we have
Okay.
to coach dealers when they're signing up
Yeah.
and coming into a V8. So let me back up to that part about what you said about we are talking about stuff that V8, and I would say V8 dealers are the beneficiaries of what it is that we're doing here. And
They can't first pick it. It seems like just about everything
and
that we're
the collaborate.
Yeah.
Because, in my meeting last night, I introduced the thing and I said, so the reason we want to come back Sunday and talk about this in a little more depth is because I introduced to the dealers, and these will be the dealers that I will have my ear in terms of what needs to get adjusted in this formula. So for today, what I can say is the formula looks at those data points that I mentioned: inventory levels in both dollars and units, sales volume in dollars and units. It'll look at rate of turn of the comparison of those things. It will look at deal structure, the way that they structure financing to their customer. Term of loan, cost of car, risk, etc. So it looks at deal structure. It looks at, I'm going to refer to my notes over there so I don't forget an important one. Then it goes into profitability, just keeping it pretty general for today. It goes into profitability, and it goes into performance analysis and cash on cash return.
Just so you all know that we have a working board with cameras and everything. So when you're in V8, you can go to the whiteboard and explain things and stuff.
Yesterday was my first time to use it in a meeting. So, so it's, so that's what I'm doing. I'm referring to the whiteboard. So keep in mind, the other thing that's happened here is I just want to get to a place where I think we create a little banner that I can put up there that says, it's really about this thing that we talk about is I've been working for some time now, and I challenge everybody that we work with to move beyond opinions. Okay. So this includes me as a coach. I'm holding myself to the same standard. And AI is now
I push you on your opinions all the time. So
and you do.
The end.
Next. So yeah, she does, and she's very intelligent, and sometimes she's right. So,
but a lot of times it's like I need to understand what it is you just said better, so that I could. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So the idea here is that we want to make sure that we're dealing when it comes to business models. Okay. So what do I mean by business model? I mean all the pieces. It's like you look at the cost of car that you choose to carry, the rate at which you sell them, how you finance them. But most importantly in the GEM formula is how well do you bank the money that you put in your portfolio?
Isn't that really or in your bank account? Yes. And so
we're going to ask dealers and partners.
Isn't that really what it's like? Most businesses, I mean, you can have, what is it worth on paper? And what is it worth? Cash is king in this business. And so that is, you talk to any seasoned dealer and they're going to say cash is king. It's like, where is your cash flow? What do you have in the bank? That's the important part.
Yeah. It's funny. Most dealers, when they're talking about cash is king, they're usually talking about down payment, but you're right. We're talking about cash flows. I talked to the group last night about there's equity versus cash flow. And we're getting kind of deep here. So we'll save most of that detail for Sunday, but I would just say that for today, it's natural to kind of end up there. So let me share something, because this is I just could clip in there 6 dealers. I did a little screenshot.
Here's a screenshot of
the first
iteration
of the grading. So this is a business model letter grade. So when you see that dealer in the upper left there that has a C+, that's a combined score, a cumulative score. It's a little like the way I told my dealers. It's like, if you have a history class and you make a B, and you have a math class and you make an A, and then you get your final report card and you have a 3.7. So what I'm choosing to do is make it transparent, including the methodology, the formulas and the actual methodology, and the weighting is important here. Because when I say, this model is best based on what criteria, right here, click right here, it'll tell you exactly what criteria we're using to say that one is a letter grade A and that one's a letter grade B. Okay. So this is what happens is so the dealers last night heard me say that in my conversations with Claude yesterday and working through this data, Claude is asking me, where do we prioritize this? And where do we prioritize that? And it was asking me questions like, which do you favor in terms of inventory, higher cost or lower cost? I said, I'm not going to favor anything. I'm going to let you sweep the data and you come back and tell me what correlations you find as far as cost
AI.
of car to the ultimate success based on what are these success metrics, right? So this is the part of what these kind of, we're creating success tools here. But the idea here is, if you look at this dealer, you can see that we've already kind of touched on these: inventory, rate of turn of that inventory, how fast do we turn it through, the deal structure. So it's going to give you some sort of grade on deal structure. It's going to look at volume, and it's going to look at profitability, and then portfolio cash on cash return. So you can see each one of those gets its own letter grade. All right. And so now you have the letter grade, and then dealers will ultimately be able to click on that and go in and see what are the metrics.
So when you're doing this, it's like from A to F, they're not equally weighed, or are they equally weighed? So sometimes the portfolio cash over cash has a heavier weight on it than turn rate.
Yeah. So I actually use this phrasing in my conversations with Claude yesterday, in saying that we're going to favor the kind of the Ken Shilson mantra, which was, it's not how many you sell, it's how many you keep sold. Okay. So that's a real simple way to think about, you might sell 100. So two dealers sell 100. One charges off 20 in 2 years, and the other charges off 40 in 2 years. Pretty easy to say which business model would we favor in that scenario. Right.
So where would that, like that scenario, because a turn rate is a turn rate like how
Michelle is very analytical.
I really am.
You're going to want to be here Sunday.
Okay.
We go into the depth. So please make time to be here at 1:30 Central Time, 2:30 Eastern on Sunday afternoon. We're going to go through all that. So she's just got questions.
I do. And anyone who's seeing this today that has questions, like, shoot them off, and we'll make sure that we get them addressed on Sunday too.
And
so
listen, just understand, our V8 members, because this is where we can take care of them. They've been early adopters with us. They have hung in here through some pretty clumsy stretches. And so this is where we can reward them, because they've now many of them have 28 months of data inside our V8 system. And so that helps us to help them. And so this is where they will be the first to shape the calculations here, the index. And the index will be an ever evolving thing, I'm quite sure. And whatever it evolves to, it'll be transparent in what it now calculates. But I think what we want to be able to do is move past the subjectivity. So because now I want Claude to say, because imagine how it feels for dealer here to sit next to, I'm a C+ business model. I like my business model. This is what I've always done.
That's a whole nother can of worms.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, but yes. Back to the thing about being objective. Now it's not me as much as it's my formula.
Yeah.
And I want you to help me shape the formula. And do you agree that the calculations that we have put in place are a pretty good indication of a success in a business model and buy here, pay here, and lease here, pay here?
Exactly. So, those in V8 are going to have a lot of input, and we would love to get input from outside as well.
Of course.
Eventually, our intentions are that this is something that is released in a scaled down version to the wild. So, a dealer can enter their stuff, or just, look at where, here's my basic stuff. Here's the aggregate. How do I measure compared to all of this? So, especially for dealers that are, well, not especially, but for dealers that are newer, that's a really helpful thing. For dealers that have been around for a long time, here's like the kicker. if you've been around and you're married to how you do things, and Jim and I've had lots of conversations around this concept recently, because you're just finished Buyer Payer United, coming into the national conference, Texas, all these big conferences. And conferences, when you get everybody together live, or you get everybody together virtually like we do with V8, it is a really good idea to approach, and this is hard for a lot of people, and I've watched people that just struggle with it, to approach the experience with an open mind,
Right.
and not married to, I have to convince you why you're wrong and why my business model is right, because this is numbers driven. And then there is some things that as you were looking at it as an analyst, the weighting of things. So I like I said, this is a conversation we've been having recently, is that as operators, I mean, just the most independent business, there are as many business operators as there are business models out there. And so to be able to, even if you've been doing it for 20 years longer than someone has been doing it for 5, and they're doing it better.
But what's the definition of better?
Okay, based on this, in the aggregate, they are doing better in all of these inventory, rate turn, deal structure, all of these things.
So I think what this lets me do, let me be the consultant for a minute.
Okay.
So I think one thing that would be fun on Sundays, have you just be the dealer and ask. I'll give you a list of questions that I often get from dealers in scenarios like this, working with new dealers. But one of the things I can see coming from this, and this is why, back up, Jim's done data with all these years, but now AI helps me answer these questions in a way that we couldn't really answer them before. So it's sweeping a large amount of data in a short period of time. This thing, by the way, when I first uploaded the spreadsheet and asked it to run through the math and spit out the thing, came back with a few questions. And then once I answered those questions, it probably took about 4 minutes to produce all these letter grades,
love AI,
all these different things. Yeah, it's great. So it was able to sweep inside our subscription. It was able to go in there and sweep based on the kind of the index that I was creating based on the weighting. So again, we'll get into the detail on Sunday. So by the way, that's only going to be on YouTube. So make sure, I would urge people to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you can have that on the screen, Michelle, I think we have that in our banners, but make sure people know where to find us on YouTube. Please subscribe over there. And that way you'll get a notification when we're going live that's coming up, and you'll have a chance to catch that. And of course, you can always catch it as a recording if you can't be there when we go live, but find that over there and make sure you join us, because I'll take folks inside it. I think what it helps me to do, so back to your thing about what's better. Well, if you look at that and you say, so if I say to a dealer, well, is it safe to say that when we say better, do you want to enjoy a pretty quick return on your cash? If you put $100,000 at risk, do you want to see that money come back to you in cash at a faster rate? Is that what you would define as success? Britt Carmichael and I have had some fun conversations about what is success, right? So that's why you see me do the air quotes. It's like because he's like, what is success, right? So so this lets us take a big step in that direction to say, if we can agree that success would look like this for you, you put cash at risk, you want to see it be recovered in a short amount of time. So what we see in our groups, based on dealers with a lot of history, is they're enjoying the best cash return on their investment across 2 years. Is that what you want to call success? Okay, well, if that's what you want to call success, then let's look at what kind of cost of car they're carrying. Now I can better answer. How do they price their cars, right? Let's pick these people who are successful on this metric, and now we can go backwards to see what can we tell about the practices of those dealers that lets them land there? Yeah. Instead of just guesswork,
that's we have such great tools, and I see other people in the industry. It's like helping. It's like pulling, and we've been crying from the hilltops. Who owns your data, and how are they using it to really help the industry, to help all dealers instead of just their customers or just their whatever?
Yeah.
It's like, how are they using that? Or are they, it's like, it's who owns it and how is it being used? Because there is a lot of data out there that could just even, like, you're talking aggregate of people in V8, like,
there's a lot of data. The problem is it's going to need to be validated through some process
and filtered.
Because, I can give you example after example, which we can talk about in more depth on Sunday. But look, it's not perfect. But what today is about is having the methodology established that can be tweaked and modified as we go. But what I've done is arrive at an index that says, based on sweeping all dealers through the same process, is going to give letter grades. And let me tell you, it's going to make for some really interesting conversations in our V8 meetings when dealers can see their own letter grade. And some of them are going to naturally want to defend their model. And so it'll give us a chance to, and I told these dealers last night, I feel the same with all of them. They know this. I would love to just be quiet as a moderator. Of course, I'll answer the questions about the calculation, but I want them to talk to one another about dealer X. How come your cost of card looks like this? And then of course they'll probably ask me, how come it's calculating that dealer X has a better return on this? And I'll take them inside the math. Here's what it's looking at. And here's why it says that it matters. So they'll be able to see more and more as we go.
Yeah. And this is one of the really powerful benefit of being involved in a group of some kind.
Yeah.
Whether it be a 20 group or a V8 group or some kind of a group where you can get together and have conversations, like in-depth conversations with other dealers that you know and trust.
Right.
And, at a conference, you can do that, but you don't know them as well as you would in a group setting where it's like you're meeting with these people monthly or quarterly, and you get to see their numbers and you really get to understand. Because, why wouldn't we want everyone that if all things were equal and, everyone sold the same amount of cars, but we're able to really benefit. So it's like, no, your neighbor is not taking any business away from you. None. No business being taken away. Isn't you'd want everyone to be like successful. And
the best you and I can do is just make sure it's available to those who wish to access it. That there's a path there for them to gain access and learn the same information. So, this all comes about because we've been having some really significant conversations with some members and some potential members about business model and what works and what do we like about our model and why do we do things a certain way. And I think this is a big step.
Yeah.
Right. This is a really big step into us being able to transparently show people, here's the math that I chose.
Yeah.
Okay. And AI did the work, and we'll be able to tweak it and turn some levers and adjust some things as we go. But what it's really basically favoring at this stage is, we may do lots of volume and we may turn our inventory really fast and we may, like the cost of car that we have, but in reality, what it's going to look at is how well do we do with banking the money? Like how much of it lands in the bank? Because I don't know that anybody's out there moving paper for profit or just, putting profit on the books and paying the IRS on income that they're never going to put in the bank. I don't think that's what people really are expecting to do in Buy Here, Pay Here. So I think what you're hearing in my formulas, which we'll take you into on Sunday, is, the approach that says, let's get to a place. In this number, this is better.
I love it.
Right?
Yeah. And again, anyone who's listening, send whatever stream that you're watching this from, unless it's on one of the like Spotify or Apple, find us on YouTube, put in a note what questions you might have thus far. And then we'll make sure that we are watching that and that we address some of those. And then Jim, like you said, because I love to ask questions. I get to play the dealer.
Give us a thumbs up on the video that you like what we're doing.
Right.
I mean, that way we'll just keep showing up. Right.
Right. Exactly. All right. So happy Friday, everybody. We're happy that you're all here, and hope that you have a great rest of your weekend. It's been kind of rainy, cruddy here, but it's nice because it's a little bit of
here Sunday at 2:30 Eastern.
Right.
Actually on YouTube. Find us on YouTube.
All right, everybody, have a great day, and we will see you on the other side.